Hello there, everybody. Today's discussion is going to be on intimacy. A lot of you know that I'm an intimacy coach, and this means that I teach people how to navigate intimacy, not only in their romantic relationships, but especially in their intrapersonal relationships, which means your relationship with yourself, and in turn, how this affects all the relationships surrounding you, the relationships around yourself. Today, I want us to talk about intimacy, what it really is, what it entails, what it looks like, so that when you see it, maybe you can recognize it, and how to curate your own meaning for yourself so that you're able to share it with the people around you and in turn experience and enjoy it for yourself and in your other relationships. When someone mentions intimacy, especially in my area code, I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, or maybe it's also a world over phenomenon. When you mention intimacy, we tend to think about sex, a sexual relationship. That's what people think about. But today I want to separate intimacy from sex so that you can see what intimacy really means and what it looks like. Intimacy for me is a feeling of trust and closeness and connection. This is when you're able to exist, whether it is within yourself or within other relationships, and create a feeling of trust and closeness. So, whatever helps you create this feeling brings about intimacy, helps you get intimate. Intimacy can definitely be cultivated and taught because even for me, I think I've been avoidant for a very long time. Like my attachment style has been very avoidant. Kitambo, which means a long time ago, I used to be very anxious. I used to, be clingy and I never had a lot of independence when it came to relationships. But as I got hurt over and over and over, I flipped the coin and I turned the other side. Where now, also when I was being anxious, it stemmed from me being hurt and neglected. But now, me becoming very avoidant was a response of, okay, nobody's gonna stay, nobody's going to love me the way I want to be loved. So I'm shutting everyone out because everyone always disappoints me and hurts my feelings. I'm never letting this wall down and I'm never letting anyone come close enough to me to hurt me. And that was the beginning of my avoidance in my relationships. I say this to bring about that intimacy can definitely be cultivated and it can be taught because for me to learn to enjoy, I had to teach myself and then learn to recognize it in other people. My avoidance tendencies were always causing me to run away from anything that requires me to be very vulnerable. And for you to exist in life, you require a level of vulnerability, whether it's with yourself or with the people around you. You have to show yourself your real face at some point so that you're able to understand yourself and even love yourself better. Without this, I don't think it's possible for you to love yourself fully, like at 100%. So this is why it's important for you to understand why building a very secure attachment style helps you love yourself more. By the way, this podcast is not majorly about relationships with other people. Yes, it is a consequence of loving yourself, but my main message always starts from self. It's about you, it's about yourself, it's about loving yourself really, really well so that this can translate into all the other relationships in your life. And a good way that I was able to teach myself to recognize intimacy or to accept intimacy or to even know that I wanted trust and connection and closeness with myself and with other people. First of all, I was surrounding myself with givers, people who truly, truly loved me and saw me for who I was. Being around them helped me start breaking down my wall. This wall of mine is not all the way down, but I can say I've made tremendous growth and huge improvements. For the people who've been in my life long, they know what I'm talking about. So surrounding myself with people who really, really, truly loved me, it was like a light bulb moment. It was like, oh wow, if ABC can love me this way, if they can love me like this, if they can truly show me I don't need to be avoidant or anxious when it comes to vulnerability and just being myself, this means that I can show up for myself like that. And being around these people taught me how to love myself, to see myself, and then over time, it just translated in the way that I'm able to love other people. Well, I'm still working on it, but I can definitely say I've come a long way. I still have friends who complain that I'm a hard nut to crack. Like my colleague Jagero on the Dialogues of Jagero show on YouTube. We host on the show together. And he's always complaining about, we did an episode on friendship and This was a very vulnerable conversation because in the conversation, I asked him, "Do you consider me a friend?" And he said no. We've known each other for like a couple years. And of course, by virtue of working together, we hung around each other a lot. And he's someone I consider a friend. I will explain why I consider him a friend in a bit. But I told him, yes, I do consider you a friend. And he said, no, I don't consider you a friend. This is because our definitions of friendships are not the same. But he explained to me why he doesn't consider me a friend. It's because of my avoidance. He said, I'm such a hard nut to crack. He never knows anything about me. He never knows anything about my life. He doesn't know what I have going on, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing. And for him to consider someone a friend, that's a very integral part of like life. And it makes sense to me. It makes sense why he would say he doesn't consider me a friend. But for me, my reason for considering him a friend is because I don't even hang around people I don't trust. Like even work wise, like with a colleague, if all we're doing is work, I'm going to come and work and I'm going to leave and go do other things. Put my energy in the people and the things that I trust and feel very close to. I don't open up very easily. You might say, oh my God, but you tell us everything on the podcast. Well, yes, I trust this channel to speak my mind because I don't really care for, outsiders' opinions telling me, oh, I had this about you. But it really matters to me, the people that I am surrounded with, like in very close proximity, especially. I care about their opinions of me. I care about, like, for example, my mother. Or even my best friend, I care if they have something to say. Like if they told me, you know, this is what you did or this is how you look like. I really care about their opinions, not just criticism, opinions in general. Me being around Jagero and me telling him all these things I tell him and all the time we hang out and all the, we open up to each other. I open up to him. I think from my opinion, I see it as the fact that I'm even able to be around you already, that qualifies you as my friend because I don't hang around many people. I don't hang around people at all. I'm always by myself or with my very close circle. If I'm not with my mom, I'm in my house. And you could say, yeah, we hang around each other because we're colleagues, but well, it's true. I don't know if we weren't colleagues, if we'd be hanging around each other like the way we do. But my point is, when I was answering that question, I truly feel like he's someone I can talk to, someone I can go to if I feel something, but the feeling is not mutual. That's not something he feels about me. And I completely understood what he was meaning or what he was trying to say. People have different definitions of friendship and intimacy for themselves. And this is very much allowed. So he said I'm a hard nut to crack, but in my defense, it's just a trauma response. I truly believe it's a trauma response from me being able to recognize patterns. Like I'm able to see the trajectory of my relationship with other people even before tufike mbali na jwanga huyu tutaacha kuongeleshana ama huyu tutaongeleshana. So I completely understand. But with this circle of mine that I've curated for myself, there's so much consideration, gifting, thoughtfulness, forgiveness, kindness. And it is from them that I've been able to learn, like from the people around me that I've been able to learn. And slowly, I'm starting to come out of my shell and I'm starting to boom and just be open. So hopefully, in a while, Jagero will be able to consider me a friend. Not that it's a requirement, it's just I think it's a safe space to create for someone that you're working with or you're hanging around with so much and you're doing something together. It's like the projects we do are our babies. And I would love for us to be able to, create with love and send love and good energies out there so that even when you're watching us or when you're consuming anything that we're doing, you're able to see, oh my goodness, these people really, really give a fuck about not just what they're doing, but each other. So I thought about discussing intimacy, like I said, because a lot of people think intimacy just comes about from sex. And this changias a lot in why people have a lot of random reckless sex because there's a feeling they're chasing that they think, this feeling of closeness and trust, they think they will get it from sex. They fail to realize that you have to cultivate the intimacy even before you reach mambo za sex. Like before ata kukwena space ya kusema I am horny or I wanna bang, you have to have created a safe space of closeness and intimacy. And the reason I brought this topic up is because I won't say when, but there's a time I was with someone I really, really like. We were hanging out, we were watching Netflix and just, eating snacks and hanging out. we didn't have sex. Our decision not to have sex was very intentional. I mean, we could have if we wanted to. We did want to. It was karibu, lakini we had intentionally decided not to because of the state of our emotional health. I mean, we were reconnecting after a long time, physically rather. Both he and I did not want our reunion to come from a place of, I'm horny and this is why you're here. I mean, that is part of us hanging out with each other, but that was not the main reason why we're hanging out with each other. So it was very important for him to show me, like, hey, I didn't bring you here to sleep with you. I brought you here because I actually value your time and I value your friendship and I really care about you. And I discussed this in one episode on also Dialogues with Jaquero. And in the comments, guys were saying, how can you hang out with someone you like so much? I almost said you're in love with. Maybe I'm in love with him, but how can you hang out with someone like that and you don't touch each other, you don't even try to have sex? The reason is consent and respect. The reason is there is so much beyond sex. There is so much friendship and intimacy. And that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted to be close to each other, to trust each other again, not just to bang and then leave that place feeling like I was used, or him feeling like, oh, I don't know how men normally feel after sex. Maybe they feel relief, like, oh, fuchs, I got that. I'm just assuming, but that's not the feeling we were chasing. And for him to be cognizant and even, hold back, because let me tell you, Mimi, I was ready. If he said, let's do this, I was gonna do it. But for him to be able to hold back and in turn, me to follow his lead and understand that he doesn't want to make me feel those feelings of I've been used, or because let's face it, if the sex is not consensual or if it was not discussed beforehand, at least for me, I normally feel like I've been hoodwinked. Like, this was not the plan. This is not what we discussed. This is not what I wanted or intended. So when it happens, even if I do it consensually, I always leave the situation feeling like, wait, hold up. Is that what I really, really wanted? So just being able to hang out with each other, and feel close and talk and share and laugh and share snacks and watch something together, create memories. That's such an amazing way of cultivating intimacy. And this means a lot to me because, let's be frank, most of the times as a woman, when you're hanging out with a man, sex is always at the back of their head, at the back or at the front. It's always being thought about. It's always, the thought is always in the vicinity. So I truly appreciate when I'm able to hang out with someone and that's not their agenda. Yani, that's not what they're trying. Yani, they're not hungry and reckless and just trying to get in my pants. They actually care about my emotions. They care about my comfort, about consent, and about how I feel about the whole situation. Of course, we touched a bit and we kissed and we were cuddling and there was some, just talking, laughing and sharing food. I walked out of that situation feeling even more in love. The respect that I had for him, it skyrocketed. The love and the admiration that I had for him, it skyrocketed because he showed me he has self-discipline. Well, someone might argue that, oh yeah, anyone can pretend so that to give you that feeling of security. Well, whether he was pretending or not, the fact that he even cared to respect me enough to just make sure that we're creating a feeling of trust and closeness, minus the sex, just that's enough for me to feel respected and honored, and like my body was being very much respected. I speak very, very highly of this person because of who he is as a person. This is not a gimmick, or at least I don't think it's a gimmick. But the safety that I gathered from that and the comfort and the reassurance, it just gave me so much confidence and excitement for life. I left that place feeling like, that feeling of falling in love. I felt like I'm falling in love over and over again. But here's the catch, not even with him, but with myself. In the way he respected me, he honored the promises that we'd made. It made me fall in love with myself. And the next day, actually for the next week after that, his smell was still in the air somewhere in my I don't know if it's in my hair or in my, I don't know where, but smelling like him just proved to me that intimacy lingers beyond words. His care, his softness with me, him being gentle, him caring, it lingers. That's just one example. I give another example of my female friends. While I'm with my girlfriends are very intentional with the way we love each other, the way we celebrate each other, the way we treat each other. just from my mother. As I'm seated here recording this, I'm looking at some shopping my mom has done for me. And it's not that she's ati, we have everything so she can do shopping for me all the time. But it's just such a loving gesture. It's a gesture that comes from, it's not something that I don't know how to explain it. I mean, the love, it just, you can see it comes from the heart. It comes from someone wanting to do something good for you. And so they do it because they want to. And this simple act, it's not simple. And you can say, oh, she's your mother, she should do it for you. But I don't take it for granted, because this act of selflessness and love that comes from the heart, it lingers. It has left me feeling so grateful and like I'm more in love. And not just in love with my mom, but more in love with myself, because I'm able to think, oh wow, I'm so deserving of all these good feelings. I'm so deserving of all these nice things that people do for me. And it's because I also do these nice things for people. I also show up for people, in, if not in the same way, in the ways that they would like for me to show up for them. So this is just like a karmic debt. It's just repayment of the way I show up in the world. The world is showing up for me in the same way. With my female friends, we go out to nice restaurants, we eat nice food, we send each other flowers, we cook for each other, take care of each other while we're sick. This is what intimacy is. This feeling of closeness and trust. You know, how we treat each other. It's so easy for me to go and cry to my friend and tell her, this is what I need, or this is what I'm going through. Why? Because we've already cultivated such a safe space for love. And you see, these feelings are without sexual intimacy. They are without sex. These feelings are not stemming from until we fucked each other. They're stemming from, I care about you, and so I'm going to do something nice for you so that you feel loved and cared for. It goes a long way when someone makes you feel very secure, and it harbors so much respect and admiration. Intimacy breaks down walls and helps you face and confront all your fears. It's never just about like wanting sex, but more of feeling very cared for and very, very loved. So today I'd like for you to walk out of this discussion thinking about what intimacy means for you and how you can create intimacy for yourself within yourself. What are some of the things you do for yourself that help you feel more comfortable and more able to be vulnerable and just able to love yourself and fall in love with yourself more? Because before expecting it from other people, I know I said other people have helped me do it, but it becomes your sole responsibility to ensure that you're able to enjoy being intimate with yourself. Some of the ways that I do this for myself is that I treat myself really, really well. I care for myself. I wash myself. I clean myself. I cook for myself. I feed myself. I pay my bills on time. I work for myself. I take care of myself. I love myself so much, and it reflects, it shows in the way I am, in the way I take care of myself.